Hey, welcome to another episode of Chad's Beer Podcast. Sorry, I can't think of a more clever name than that. This week,
That's so
I'm
cool.
talking to Paul and Michelle from Rate My Beer. How you
Hi.
guys doing?
Good evening, Chad. Good to be on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. It's evening there, but it's still the afternoon here. Otherwise, I'd have another drink with you. And we're recording this on a Thursday. I mean, maybe if it was Saturday or Sunday, I might have another beer, but it's not even 3 o'clock in the afternoon here. So I'm just drinking some sparkling water.
Yeah. It's 7:27 here in the evening.
Yeah.
It's funny. We just did Eyinger. We did Eyinger Hefeweizen, but I still have some Paulaner Hefeweizen in the fridge.
Yep, good beer, Paul.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Actually, I
That's
reviewed.
a good German offering.
So I just wanted to show the folks at home where you guys are. So you said you're in Chatham, UK.
Yeah.
That's
I'm gonna
it.
zoom in on the Earth here. Where's your house?
It's somewhere there.
Are you not too far from the water? I guess anywhere in England is not too far from the water.
No, not compared to obviously
Yeah.
the US and everything.
It looks really close there on the map, but we still have to drive for a little bit to get out to the coast.
It's
Do you ever
about
go to the beach?
yeah, we love the beach. When we move, we want to move back by the beach because this
It's
is the
really close, yeah.
first time we haven't lived by the sea.
Yeah.
All right, I'll show
First
you
time
where I
since I
live.
left home, yeah. But yeah, we're about 30, 40 miles, which would be about 60 kilometers from the sea, I think. 50 kilometers.
Yeah, so here, this is me. I'm in Sanford, Florida. And it's funny because that red pin is actually not too far from where I actually live. There's this really big lake right here.
Oh wow, yeah,
And
that is big.
this is Daytona Beach right here.
Ah,
The
yeah. I know
Here's
from the
the
films.
airport, and that's the Daytona Speedway right there, where they have the Daytona
okay.
500. Are you guys big racing fans at all?
Not really, but we don't mind it.
I do like to watch it occasionally, but I'm not really well up with it all.
More football, English football
Yeah.
for us. Soccer, if you would call it.
Yeah. Well, I know Tom from the Crummy Beard is a big Formula One fan. And I mean, I'm not really a race car fan, but I am. We have our own Major League Soccer team here in Orlando, and they actually did really well last year. They made it to the quarterfinals and the playoffs. And they just started their season just started about a month ago, and like it's funny, they're like almost in last place this year.
No.
The season goes until like October, I think. So I mean, they have a lot more games left to make up. And
Yeah,
you guys,
it's early days.
Yeah.
I'll get that. It's early days. Yeah.
Messi plays for Miami now, so
Yeah,
we'll get to
David
see him
Beckham,
here.
isn't it? David Beckham's the one of the co-owners and backers, isn't he, of Miami?
Yeah. I don't know how he convinced them to move to Miami instead of where did he play over there? In
Barcelona, who played, and Paris Saint-Germain at the end.
Yeah.
He came over from France, didn't he? But you know, I could sell America by saying it's warm all the time.
Yeah.
And Messi's been there, done it, got the T-shirt, and just to do it somewhere else is putting his brand out there.
He's in the twilight of his career, isn't he? So
He's still playing some brilliant football.
I didn't say he wasn't brilliant still, but yeah, it is the twilight. So I can imagine that America would be
into Miami. It's called, isn't it? And obviously we get a lot of the games over here now because Beckham and Messi.
Yeah, they must come on like really early in the morning there.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
You could watch the game while you're eating breakfast.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're a little bit before breakfast. Yeah, there's a lot of hype for American. Well, for
who's
US stuff.
Who's your team that you like?
Oh, we're Tottenham Hotspur.
We're Tottenham Hotspur, Spurs, both of us. Funny enough. But we're having a up and down season, shall we say? Actually, we're playing soon. And I said, when we're doing this, I said, at least we're going to miss the beginning of the game. And she said, "What you'd be?" I said, "Nah, because it's the stress."
It's nerve-wracking. It's getting towards the end of the season now, and
We're
Things
not going to
haven't
win it,
really gone our way, have they,
No.
as a club? So
and we're not going to win it, unfortunately. So
Maybe
one of them
they
things.
sound like my team. They sound like Orlando City. I was gonna put my Orlando jersey on, but I got my Chad's beer reviews new
yeah,
T-shirt on. I say you got your rate my beer.
yeah,
Shirt on.
Yes,
yeah.
we're in this one too.
Just got Rate My Beer and Kronenberg Blanc and
Well, you know what you
Joe-
got to do.
Well-
You got to get a cartoonist to draw like a cartoon of you. I don't know if you can see this or not.
yeah, I can. No, I've seen him before. I said the graphics is really good.
Yeah, well, this one's from a few years ago when I still had hair, and then after a while, I just got so sick of it. I'm just like, got rid of it and grew a beard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually long for hair,
Hence the hat. It grows there and there,
and there, and it doesn't grow in the middle. So just shave it
Yeah.
off.
Why is my camera not focusing?
Yeah, we get that sometimes, don't we? That's why with the webcam,
There we
because I'd
go.
have to face this way, where it's what's it called, the roofing. It's really cheap roofing in here.
Yeah, it's like plastic cladding, and the lighting can go quite
So
far.
the lighting will go. One minute you see us on the screen, the next minute we're not there. That's why it's
Yeah,
better to go this way off the phone.
It's hard to tell from like this shot right here, but I saw you did a video where you did a whole tour of your backyard like bar. I don't know if you call it a bar or it's almost like a tiki lounge or something.
Yeah, that's it. It's that kind of thing. It's a backyard bar. So
Yeah, that's
Did
when
you
it wasn't
build
in the
that?
mess.
Did you build that yourselves or did it come with the
I,
house?
I designed it and it helps a little bit, but it was more so my friend, wasn't it? That done
yeah,
99% of it.
Carpenter, he's brilliant with doing all this stuff, and
I did help, but I caused a few problems as well as helping.
I see you have like all those authentic like tap handles and those like the towers and things. Like, do you work like in the beer industry as your day job, or are those just things you collected over the years?
We just collected them up over the years, haven't we?
Paul used to back in the day, but this particular bar and all the decorations things is just stuff that you've scouted around.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff I've got has actually come from the US.
Yeah, funny enough.
A lot of it's like a lot of the tap handles and that, especially like
import, yeah.
I've had to get from America. It's crazy that they go from Germany to America and then back to here. How it is.
Yeah.
It is.
That's funny. Actually, it's like a lot of this beer that's in my fridge. Like there's certain beers that are actually brewed in Orlando because there's like ghost breweries or contract breweries or whatever, and like so they ship them to I get them off this app called Tavor, and they're all the way on the West Coast. I think near Seattle. It's like as far from Florida as you can get. And then I order it off Tavor. Actually, I'll bring the app up. And so then it goes from Orlando to Seattle and then all the way back here.
Yeah.
So this is the app that I use to like order most of my beer on. It's called Tavor. They carry like all this like hard. Well, I don't know. It's hard to get for me, but if you live like in New York or something like that, you might be able to get these beers. A lot of them are really expensive. But like they're crazy. It's like all the beer snobs use this. Like I use this app because even though like I'm in a fairly major city or near a fairly major city, like the actual beer selection here is not that good. Like there's a liquor store a half mile down the road from my apartment, and I call it the beer museum because like all the bottles and cans in there are like from anywhere from like 3 to 10 years ago. So it's like you walk into there and it's like a museum. It's like here's what everybody was drinking 10 years ago. You know?
Yeah,
we haven't got a great selection where we live, to be honest. But obviously, it's so easy to order anything online.
Yeah, it is. There's some really good online places, isn't there, for ordering?
Yeah, and a lot of what we use is kegs in the machines. Obviously, what we're drinking now is a keg called Hackbeck, which is
it
a German.
A full huge keg like a restaurant would have, or like a
no, this is just a
mini keg.
I was going to say I can probably pop down and get one.
Yeah,
it's good to visually be able to see.
It's like because your pint isn't as big as ours, is it?
Yeah, they do different measures. So I've got it.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I know a lot of the UK beer tubers have been raving. Like Simon and have you ever seen that guy Big Bald Reviews.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we've met him.
We met him in Liverpool. No, Manchester.
Yeah.
Last year. Yeah, Baldy's brilliant, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a lovely guy.
His
That's like
video,
pretty much all he reviews on his channel is those kegs, those mini
Yeah.
kegs or whatever.
They're so very popular here in the UK.
Yeah, it's
Simon.
Yeah.
It's funny because you guys are actually fairly new to the BeerTube scene, as we call it.
Yeah,
you know,
we are quite.
you just started like what, 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah, about 2.5 years now.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what inspired you to start doing YouTube?
Everyone kept saying you have to, because we used to do silly drunken beer reviews on Facebook and everything.
We have a big community of people that used beer groups on Facebook and places like that. And we were always trying out new different beers and trying to really go there and just try as much beer as possible and talk to people about it. And someone said, you've got to do YouTube. And we was like, oh no, I don't think so.
For ages we said no.
Yeah, but here we are.
Well, no, what kind of triggered us was the first keg exchange got closed because Facebook shut it down for whatever reason. And all our beer reviews on there, we lost everything because obviously we didn't have everything backed up. And I said, if we'd have had YouTube, you'd still have them.
So yeah, it's
So there was a lot
like a journey for us where we can look back on it as well.
But yeah, it's just a bit of fun, isn't it? It's kind of I mean, I get where Simon is with YouTube and everything. Obviously, we met Simon a few times. Funny enough, he mentioned Simon. I've been talking to him today, haven't I?
Yeah.
Because we've done a collab beer, and the beer was doing really well. I previewed it and went up to London last week, reviewed, didn't I?
Yeah.
And then Simon put his video out today on YouTube, and within 3 hours, the beer's sold out. And it's like, oh my god!
Is that the pineapple Weizenbach you're talking about?
It, yeah.
That's the one with Hackney Church.
Yeah.
It's phenomenally successful.
How did that come about? It's like, did the brewery invite you, or
no? I invited myself.
Okay.
Our connection with Hackney Church started. Paul just picked out some random breweries and said we're going to try some of the beers. I was like, oh yeah, that's great. Not all of them are brilliant, but from the first sip of one of Hackney Church's beers, I was just blown away by the amazing quality and taste of this beer. It was just like, wow, these guys are really great. And the more we got into their beer, it was consistently great. So we've ended up going up there. We got to know the head brewer and managing director, and all the staff up there, just wonderful people. And you said I'd love to do a collab beer.
Yeah, I know. I said I've always dreamed of having Rate My Beer, or well, myself originally, because obviously long before Rate My Beer was thought of.
Yeah,
I've always wanted to do my own beer, you know, something I could be involved with. And they were like, well, hold on, we could do that. And then I thought, yeah, they won't do it, but you know, we got to know more. We went out to Lithuania as well.
Yeah, they did a beer festival in Lithuania, which was great fun. We went over there.
Yeah, I kind of went on a bit, Chad. You know, like I said about that collab, and they're like, yeah, soon, Paul, soon. You know, the tanks are very busy, and I thought, oh, we'll never do it. And then one day, he just said, right, I've got some tank space.
This was Jacob, wasn't it?
Yeah, and obviously me and Simon were talking on messages because of the different ideas I had and he had and everything, and we put something together, and then it just went from there, didn't it?
To Jacob, and Jacob made the magic happen.
Yeah, and it was just like,
who pays for the beer? Like the brewery pays, or
yes,
yeah, no,
it was purely just
for the fun for us, yeah. I mean, we got a case of beer, but I got drunk and lost mine for the collab, and obviously we got a keg of them that we were allowed to drink as much as we liked in the night and give out as we did.
Yeah, and give
to all the customers.
One, so it was really
so yeah, no, it was absolutely brilliant, and it was really good fun, you know, going up there and brewing it, and they were explaining everything to us. It was going over my head slightly, if I'm honest, but you took a lot in.
It's a lot more technical than what you would think. There is so much to the process. Yeah, there's a lot to it.
But there's a massive hype about it now here in the UK, and there's people messaging me this afternoon going, "My God, Paul, your beer's sold out. I wanted to buy some, or I want some more." And I thought it's going to be a long time if it ever comes back.
But I just wanted to show the folks at home your channel. Let me.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
But yeah, if it ever comes back, and hopefully it will.
All right, so this is your channel, Rate My Beer.
Yeah.
It's funny, you're coming up on 4,000 subs, and I have a little over 4,000 right now. So you guys caught up to me pretty quick. And this is the beer you're talking about, the pineapple Weizenbach.
Yep.
That's the one. Yeah.
What was the name of it? It had a funny name, I remember.
Agadoo.
Yeah.
And Agadoo is a silly British song. You probably know it.
In the day.
From back in the day, yeah.
That place.
How big is this brewery, Hackney Church? Are they fairly new?
No,
it's just a little microbrewery
in Hackney in London, and their brewing area is on the side of that tap room. So they pretty much like a microbrewery, really.
Okay, and they were able to do looks like 500 ml or 16-ounce cans.
They're 440 ml cans, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, that's still pretty good. And who are these guys on the label?
Yeah, that's the guys that sung the original song. From
they sang the original song, because the problem is, until people started tasting it, people thought it was just a gimmick.
But the beer is absolutely phenomenally good, and once people started trying it, they were just like, "This is a serious beer." Yeah, all the artwork and everything's fun and lively, but this beer is actually a serious beer. It's a seriously good beer.
Yeah,
I just wanted to show this is your Instagram. I don't know if I can zoom in on that's about as good as I can get, but here's a better picture.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's our one.
This
on the left.
On the left. Yeah, I was just trying to work it out on the left of the screen to us.
It sounds like, just going off the label, not knowing, having any other information, it sounds like it'd be like kind of like a Jimmy Buffett kind of thing. Is that what they're going for?
I think the can and everything is expressing the fun side of things and the fun that we had doing it. But when it comes to the beer and the actual drinking of the beer, when everyone's tasting it, they're like, "This is a really, really good, serious beer. It's just wonderful."
Yeah, no, I was amazed, Chad, to be honest. That I was talking to Simon this morning, because I said, you know, where's the video? When's the video going up? And he said 10:30 UK time. Okay, I'm like, okay. And then 2 hours. It was within 3 hours, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Hackney Church was saying,
It's
sold out, mate. And I was like, oh my God. But Simon's video, do check it out, obviously, at some point.
It's a brilliant video.
It's absolute Simon comedy.
Yeah, it was a wonderful review.
You're talking about the one he posted today?
That's it, yeah.
Let me see if I can find it. I think
He describes it as a Ferrari, and his enthusiasm for someone doing YouTube so long is amazing.
As he's done it, it's just, it's brilliant.
You've got to remember, for Simon, it's a job, so he has to watch what he says. He's quite honest about that, and that, like, whereas to, like, for us two, but for you, Chad, it's a bit of fun.
It's our hobby, yeah.
Did he change his name? Is it a Real Ale Guide or the Real Ale Guide?
I think Real Craft Ale. He's been called for a while.
Oh, here he is. He keeps changing his channel name. So I remember when he first started, he was the Real Ale Guide.
Yeah, he's had a few. That's him. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, actually, I remember when Simon first came up, because him and I did a few collab. This is the video you're talking about.
That's
might have brewed the best beer ever.
Yeah,
that's the one.
So this is a song that's named after?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar. Is it a new song or an old song?
No, it's a really old song. You'll have to go on YouTube or something and look it up later. And it's.
But there's pineapples in it. And it's a real fun song, and I don't know if it ever got big in the States. Obviously, not so big.
Yeah.
Black Lace. I think I found it.
That's the one. Yeah. You have to watch the video and everything of it. That's it.
Yeah, that's them.
So what year is this from?
it's really old because
It
I
says
remember dancing the
2016,
dance
but
as a kid.
I think it was the 90s, the early 90s, wouldn't it have been?
I'm not going to play it because I don't want to get a copyright
Yeah,
hit.
no,
You know?
Yeah, no, that's why I
Don't do
didn't
that.
start singing, because I've already got in trouble for this one. We did a dance when we were trying to learn the dance, and obviously YouTube had a funny one. I mean, I've had loads of issues with them lately with my intro. If you notice my last few videos, I've got the intro on them because my intro, the music in my intro, got copyrighted.
Yeah.
And because
That's I
someone made
actually I
it,
don't know if
yeah,
you've seen my channel. I have my own theme song. Well, I don't really I used to post at the beginning of every video a long time
yeah, I
ago.
didn't see it on the last. What was I watching? Let's see,
See, this I can play because it's my own copyright.
Yeah,
So,
that's
yeah.
the only way to do it, I think.
Yeah, let me start over here. The problem is I need to have actually, I don't know if the sound is gonna pick up.
Yeah, it's not, but I know this one.
Yeah.
Can you hear the sound? Okay. Wait, I gotta let's see. You gotta start over. Sorry. See, I need like I need a producer to do this, you know?
Yeah, I need someone to remove the sound from that. Well, not the sound, because it's kind of funny, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we got used to that now.
All right, I think it should work now. So let me know if you can hear it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. That's it. It's all done.
Whether it's a lager or an ale, whether it's a stout, light, dark, or pale.
I haven't watched this in a long time.
Chad can review it. It's like
I was a lot fatter back then.
But that wasn't on the one. I thought, was it? I did think of it.
Okay. That's really cool.
I
Yeah,
told you that before. Remember, Chad's the one that done the BeerTubers, the top 20.
Yeah, I had to stop. I mean, it was fun, but that's a lot of work, and it's also really hard to determine who is and isn't a beer tuber, or
Yeah.
like some people get a lot of views like on their channel that has like nothing to do with beer, you know. Like even I know like you guys have like some Robbie Williams concert footage on your channel.
Yeah, I love
So
Robbie.
you're big Robbie Williams. Isn't he
It
like
just
just a
happens that
pop
we put
singer?
the hair different. Put it on.
I think that was actually the biggest video we've ever had, I think.
Yeah.
They've got copyrighted, of course, but that was obviously going to
Sometimes we
happen.
do some food stuff, and we've done some hot food challenges and things like that. But predominantly, we are about beer.
Yeah, a bit. But yeah, no, I said, man, no, I just found them videos brilliant. As I said to you at the time, it was like, wow, look. It was always like someone was always going to be at the top. But it was great. I think you said to me once on Instagram or YouTube, it took so many hours to put it together, and I thought, no way.
You just don't have the patience, do you?
But it was cleverly done, and it was great. Like I say, maybe do one every 6 months or something.
Yeah, it seems these going back to these like home draft systems, like you have a lot of views on these videos.
Yeah.
Because
Perfect draft pour. There's like so many of them. I'm surprised. They're really not big over here.
They're actually in America now, these machines, but I don't think they're in Florida, aren't they? Because Conrad's in Miami.
Yeah.
They're actually in Miami now.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen them, but like I don't really know anybody that has them. Like some people have like home kegerators, or like this is as close as I get. I have this little mini fridge here with the clear door. This is all my beer that I'm gonna have for review. So I mean I put it, and I had to get, I don't know if you can see this. No, you can't see it. There's like this heavy steel like it's almost like a table, like an end table that you'd have in your dining room. It's made of steel. It's meant to hold like a 500-pound hot water heater or something like that. So that's what I have my my beer fridge on. I mean, I have my regular food fridge in the kitchen, and I have my bookshelf over here. And I used to have like way more signs and stuff. In fact, I might even like take some of these down. Some people think it's like gaudy, you know. But I mean, like you guys, if I had the room, 'cause I'm just in an apartment here, you know, you have that whole backyard bar thing. But
Yeah.
do you have friends
Not for
over?
much longer though. We're kind of setting
Yeah,
up.
yeah, but we're gonna set up our
We're going to move and obviously try and cash in a little bit on the house and move from the south of England to more north of England, and then we're going
and
to
we
do.
don't need quite such a big house because our children have grown up and one of them's already moved on. So
Well, only one of them. We've still got
we
2
still
children and 3 dogs.
but we just the size of this house just it is too big now. We need something a bit smaller.
Yeah, it gets as time goes on, you kind of think, yeah, and there's a lot of
And we're a
space.
bit older. We want to go somewhere a bit quieter with the coast
This is on
nearby.
3 floors, the house,
Yeah.
so it's impossible to heat it up. And obviously, we're on the top floor, and there's no toilet. It's just a bedroom. You know, it's a loft conversion.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, when you need a
smaller.
toilet after a few beers, you have to go all the way down the stairs. Don't you?
Yeah.
It's very hard.
That sounds like that's at my parents' house. When I'm originally from upstate New York, and actually all those clips that we just saw on the opening or the trailer, whatever you want to call it, like those are from like the first couple hundred or first about 1,000 episodes of this show. And then because I used to live in New York, and then I moved to Florida in 2015 because I started this show in 2018, and I just hit 1,500 episodes.
Wow.
And yeah, I think like the last probably the last like 600 or so were in Florida, and the first 900 were in New York. And yeah, we used to get really cold winters, lots of snow, and then it's nice down here in Florida. You know, I mean, sometimes it gets cold in the winter, cold.
Yeah.
Not cold like here or New York.
That would be warm for us.
Yeah.
At least it doesn't snow here, you know. I was gonna say before, like you guys have that huge backyard bar. If I had something like that, I would have to have friends over like all the time to like make it worth it. It's gonna, you know. Do you guys have friends over a lot?
We have
not so much lately, but the trouble is when a lot of people come here, you have neighbours just behind there, and the music gets loud. Funny enough, there was a few of us last night.
Yeah.
But then no one wants to do YouTube, and I say, "Oh, I'll do YouTube live," and no, don't bother with YouTube. No one seems to like it
when
too
we have
much.
people around, they're like, no. So YouTube just tends to be for us, doesn't it?
Yeah,
He's a bit involved. Our youngest son, he likes to get involved a little bit here and there with YouTube.
yeah. Our youngest son appears quite a lot lately, doesn't he?
Quite outgoing, isn't he?
The
How
other
old
two,
are your kids?
20,
24.
24, 22, 23, 24, and 17.
Okay, so they're out of school by now, obviously.
Oh yeah, they're
The youngest one's trying to drink as much of my alcohol as he can, I think.
How did you? I mean, I guess it's kind of pointless asking somebody in the UK like how they got into beer. It's just kind of like part of your culture growing up. But like for Americans, it's like it's a little different because, well, at least for like my generation, but for the people like younger than me, like it's definitely going to be different for them. Although, actually, the current generation, they're going to grow up on like hard seltzers and
Yeah,
like White Claw and like hard Mountain Dew and stuff like that. And actually, because they've legalized weed in a lot of states, a lot of like younger people just aren't drinking beer or alcohol in general as much as they used to. They're just either taking THC or nothing at all. So like you have like
there's a lot down in Europe too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, do you have like a origin story of like how you got into beer?
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you want to go first?
No, I'll let you go first.
My dad had a twin sister, and she moved to Somerset, and they produce a wonderful, wonderful cider in Somerset. And my dad used to buy these, what do you call those? Ceramic things with cider in, I can't remember.
Barrel.
It's like a miniature barrel, but it's sort of made of ceramic material. Well, he brought this home, and I was about 5 years old, and I remember going, "This is cool." And I turned the tap, and a little few drips of the cider come out. I was like, that's nice. And I kept going back to it. That's my first taste of alcohol when I was 5. And then, yeah, once I hit sort of teenage years, 14, 15, cider predominantly. And is cider classed as alcohol in America?
Yeah, of course it's.
Yeah, I mean, you still have to be 21. I mean, as long as it's
Exactly,
hard
21.
cider.
Yeah.
But yeah, cider was predominantly what I used to drink when I was younger because it's very sweet, and as kids you
Yeah.
like sweet things, don't you? But then I progressed on to drinking beers and things, and yeah, I don't even drink cider anymore. It's too sweet for me now.
No,
There's
100%.
different types. I mean, you can get dry cider. Isn't Strongbow
Yeah.
pretty dry?
Yeah, Strongbow's an old school one here.
Yeah,
I mean, if you talk about 20 odd years ago, it was number one cider, wasn't
it
it?
was, yeah.
Obviously, a lot's changed now, and there's a lot of different.
And they produce
ciders.
some wonderful, real farmyard kind of ciders, which is the real authentic stuff that you don't get from the big breweries. That stuff is just amazing. That I can still drink that now.
Yeah,
It's really natural and wonderful.
there's too many chemicals.
Yeah, there's too many
ciders
chemicals in a lot of ciders.
that are in the shops,
Yeah.
aren't there?
Mm.
But it's one of them things, isn't it?
Yeah, so go on, you tell your story.
My story, what, the truth or want to make up? She likes this one. Right, and I was a bit older than Michelle when my alcohol journey started because I wasn't 5, I was actually about 9 or 10. And my dad worked in a big factory, and always at Christmas used to get loads of things, you know, it's like a big factory warehouse thing. And funny enough, Service Size are a big American company.
Yeah.
And part of the thing that you used to get was a bottle of sherry called Harvey's Bristol Cream, which was a tacky old sherry. But at the time, back in the 80s, it was all right, you know, in the early 80s and that. And I just thought one day I'll try a little tipple because I remember, you know, my mum had brought it before and my nan always liked it. And I thought I'll try a quick little pull back the bottle. And I thought, oh, that's nice. So, of course, I drank a little bit more and a little bit more. And then I kept going back at it when no one was about because it was in the cocktail bar thing that they had. And then before I knew about it, over the course of maybe a few days, I drank 3/4 of the bottle. So I thought, I don't know how I'm going to explain this because I couldn't blame my little brother because he was only 6 and couldn't reach the cocktail bar because I was going to blame him. And obviously we only had cats and no dogs, so I filled it up with water and forgot about it. And then nothing was said, obviously. And then my nan came round maybe a month later, and of course the water had
Got a bit
off.
Yeah.
And when my mum poured the drink, it wasn't looking very nice, and she was like, "Whoa!" So yeah, that's how it went.
Nan didn't get very nice drink that time.
It happens, doesn't it? And I can't
Yeah.
stand that stuff now.
Yeah, you wouldn't touch it now, would you?
It's a funeral drink here in the UK.
Actually, yes, sherry is very much it passed
Yeah,
around
Yeah.
little glasses now, you know.
I don't know what's
Sherry
like
is
in the
not.
States, yeah.
I don't really know anyone who drinks sherry, but I mean, you can
It's
get
quite
it.
a British thing,
It's
actually.
quite a British thing, and it's a very old people's thing. Like,
Yeah.
if someone dies, say we were going to someone's funeral, as the 3 of us walked in there, they hand you a glass of sherry.
Well, not actually, I'm not actually at the but it's more like the
wake.
The wake,
Yeah, after.
and,
Not
like a-
not the church.
yeah.
It's like a
Not
shot
bad.
almost,
It,
like a shot of
it's like a shot glass, but it's
taller. Yeah.
yeah, it's taller and it sort of goes out and then in, and
It's horrible.
but it's about that big.
Yeah.
But it's quite an old. It's quite an old-fashioned tradition, isn't it? I'm not
Yeah.
sure if they can do that.
You don't see a
I've been
lot of
lucky
sherry
enough
here now,
not
do
to.
you? You see the odd, yeah. You see the odd bottle.
How did you two meet?
I was, funny enough, I was managing a bar,
Hmm.
and a big bar. We were doing really well. It was a real busy bar, and we were like really desperate for staff. And we nearly didn't meet because the day Michelle came in for a job, I was upstairs in the office, and they were phoning me up, going, "There's 2 girls coming for a job," and I said, "I really don't care. Deal with them." And then they said, "But they're 2 blonde girls." And I said, hold on, I'll come down the stairs. And that weren't our first meeting, but that's what I thought was our first meeting because obviously I didn't know who she was.
I had a full-time job, and I really didn't need to work out of hours, but I've always been a beer drinker, and I went out one day just to go and have a couple of beers, and I happened to walk into Paul's pub, and he said, "I don't cheer up. It's not that bad," or something to me. And I thought, "Oh, I like you. I'm going to get to know you." And that's why I went and applied for the job.
Did
I
he have
didn't
hair
know
back
if
then?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't know. As I say, from that day when she came for the job, I didn't know who they were. But then I interviewed. No, you came back. I
Yeah,
gave
I
you.
came back.
I gave them both.
Interest in the
Yeah,
job. I just came for the job to get to know you.
I gave them some. Didn't I give you some? Application forms to take
Yeah.
away. Yeah, and then you came back on your own.
Okay.
Yeah, that was it. I can't. It was that long ago.
But it was just
I can't
it's so
remember.
refreshing when you go for a job and you don't actually care about getting the job. You're just going in there to like have a
I wouldn't-
mooch around. And I wanted to get to know him, so that's the whole reason why I went. And the bar staff there were lovely. Oh, I got talking to everyone. They was giving me drinks for free and everything before I come down and interviewed me. I thought, if I do get the job here, I'm going to get on fine. These guys are really cool. I like them.
Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, we gave anyone a job. It was. We did.
So how long have you guys been together?
That was 1999.
1999.
Okay, so like 25 years basically.
Yeah,
Yeah, basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
1999. Yeah,
We got married in 2002.
I thought it was 2000.
My parents just had
2001.
my parents just had their 50th wedding anniversary.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
they're
really
still
cool.
together. They
Yeah,
still live in the same
lovely.
house that I grew up in.
Oh, that's mad.
That is really
It's
lovely.
great now because my mum and dad is 54 years together, or 53 and a half years, whatever, coming up to 54 years. And it's fantastic now, these stories, because
They don't
they don't happen a lot. You know,
So
people
Yeah.
don't even make it as long as we have. Ours is like, there's so many people that we know that
Yeah.
there's that one and that they've had that relationship and they've got that kid there and that kid. You're like, oh, it's a bit much, some of it, isn't it?
For me, everyone's lives are different, and you know, but for me, I'm really glad that we've had this kind of steady life where it's just been.
Do you still work in the bar industry?
No, yeah,
I
no,
haven't for a long time.
no, not for a while now. No, it was. I think the situation with me working in bars was if I'd carry on, there was just your head was going, wasn't it? We ran a printing business for ages,
Hmm.
and that was going to be kind of your life, wasn't it? And then things started to change on that, so it was easier to sell out and take the money and
Yeah.
run.
I got carpal tunnel syndrome in both wrists, and I couldn't carry on my side of the business, and it just got really difficult from that aspect, didn't it? So
yeah, and then we were kind of set up because I paid the mortgage off, so I was quite clever. But then we kind of spent too much money too quickly, and it didn't kind of work out on that. So we basically sell like car valve caps. What would you call them in the States? Stem caps.
we've got car accessory shop online.
It's not very big, but
it's just a little
kind of
side business that
it kind of
a little
half pays the bills, yeah. And I've just designed actually a new really big cap that's just gone off to China and everything, and we're waiting to see how it comes out at the moment. So hopefully it's good. I think it will be, won't I? I hope in a way. Otherwise I'll be going out and get a job at this rate.
Speaking of the UK bar scene, like I actually follow the news of like beer around the world, and I have like I don't know if you use Google News alerts. It's like you can set like whatever you want for like a news alert. Like you can put yourself or like whatever topic you want, and like it'll email you all the stories about that. And I think I have a news alert for campaign for real ale, and like every day I'm seeing a story about like so many of the bars in England shutting because like the costs are going so high.
It's
like
very sad.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we're losing, amongst other things in England, which I won't go into, obviously, but we're losing all our history of bars. You know, like
traditional pubs are going.
I couldn't take my son and show him my childhood years because there'd be so much blanks because the pubs are gone and they're flats or they're
basically what's
apartments
happening
and
is
so on.
the rent is astronomical for a lot of these people that are leasing properties, the beer prices are astronomical, the electricity and everything else is astronomical. They're not being able to make a profit. It's not financially viable for them to run these businesses anymore. And then you get the property developers come in and they are just, it's a small place. We need more houses, we need more flats. And everything is just being turned into accommodation, and you are losing that wonderful traditional vibe of the English pub.
Yeah, which everyone all around the world knows English pubs, but
And they are slowly but surely they are dying out.
give it 20 years, and if you have one pub in each town, I'd be amazed.
Yeah, a real traditional one.
Yeah, it's I wonder how much of that is just like oversaturation though too, is like you have like or how many pubs per square mile,
No, it's not anymore.
We used to,
we
yeah,
used
but
to,
it's
not
changed.
anymore.
Honestly, Chad, it's so different here now.
Not the same anymore. You still have your commercial places, your big, like with the spoons and that
even
type of thing.
closing,
but even they're closing, and it's just it's a dying thing.
Even pubs in London. I mean, we watched the programme. Funny enough, only a few days ago, a pub in Camden, in North London.
Camden is massively busy tourist hotspot.
And even he was struggling.
He was struggling,
and it was so sad to watch, wasn't it?
Is it just because it's so expensive, like with the utilities, or is it like lack of consumer demand?
It's actually a bit of both. It's.
There are cultural changes as well going on in places like London. They're more diverse.
A lot of they don't want the pub, do they?
Traditional English person's way of thinking, oh, let's go for a night at the pub. Not everyone is of that mindset anymore.
Yeah, I know you guys get a lot of immigrants there now too, and
they're coming from in the news, isn't it, about yesterday's one? But
if they're coming from the Middle East or Africa, like they probably don't drink.
Everywhere.
Yeah, that was. You're kind of putting it a little more. I was trying to put it a little bit more softly than that, but yeah, what you're saying there is totally correct. So it's a shame.
It's somewhat difficult,
it is a shame.
And it's very difficult.
Well, I mean, that's why you got a pub in your backyard. You just have to have people come over. Well, you have like a tip jar on the counter, like for your friends. Be like, or
no one will put anything in it anyway.
But we do have. There's a great community of people out there. We've had people send us beer and offer us beer, bring us different beers round. That community is sharing, and
a lot of people.
Blue Monkey stuff.
Yeah, but a lot of people again, being sent all that stuff.
That stuff.
Most of the people that we know, and like if you were to talk about hang around with, live absolutely miles from us.
Yeah.
The people around here. Remember, neither of us grew up around here, and a long story short, it's not the most friendly area where we live.
It's not a community vibe here. People kind of keep themselves to themselves. It's not the kind of neighbourhood where you go and make friends.
There's a few people we've made friends with that come around and had a drink, but it's not like back in the day where oh, he's got a bar, we'll go around there and everything. Most people don't even know the bar's here, do they? But
have you guys ever have you ever visited Florida?
Yeah, we have indeed. My first holiday to Florida was way back in the early 80s when I went to Florida. I did Orlando and everything, and obviously Disney World, SeaWorld, Busch Gardens, Epcot Center. And then when we went to Fort Lauderdale only 3 years ago.
Yeah, it must have been 3 years ago now.
Yes, I've seen you guys travel a lot. I've seen on your Instagram and on your YouTube, like you went to Vietnam, I think it was.
I love Vietnam.
Or Thailand.
Oh, Vietnam's so cheap.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, that's a different level. That's why we could stay so long. But funny enough, we nearly didn't come back when we came back, did we? But obviously we wanted to sort out some things with the house and that. But the money you spend there, it was actually cheaper us living, stopping out there than it was to be here with the utility bills and the cost of living here. And we were eating out every day and drinking, whereas to here,
all the laundry done. No, you waited on hand, foot and finger. Everyone's doing everything for you, and yet it's still cheaper than being here in England. It was just absolutely amazing. wonderful, wonderful people, so welcoming, so kind, so helpful. I
Yeah, well,
love it
there's,
there.
I mean, there's a chance, and a lot of people on my YouTube that speak to me know, there's a chance that if we sell the property and we buy a smaller property, that we will get involved with something over there, isn't there? But I'm
Maybe
sort of,
for promotional work for
yeah,
stores that are there, or maybe help
we were
to
offered a
run
few
bar
things,
or
but
something.
I wanted to do the back bit of the bar, and Michelle would do the front, and they were like, "Oh no, you two are a team."
we're a team.
I'm like, "Yeah, but they don't want to see me. I'll do the back. I'll do the computer work and the promo work." And they're like, "No, you bounce off each other. You have to come together." And I thought, oh,
Well, I was gonna say, they're building so many new communities in Florida because everybody's moving here, and out in Daytona Beach, there's a whole community dedicated to Jimmy Buffett. It's like literally called like Margaritaville, and like people,
Wow.
they just drive from house to house like in their golf carts, you know,
That's
and
really cool.
yeah, and they, I guess like within the community, they must have like an open container okay rule because like in America, like you're not allowed to just walk down the street drinking alcohol, you know. It's like the bums, they haven't been like in the paper bags, you know. Like
Some
that's
places
true.
in England, you're not allowed to drink alcohol in public.
it's banned in some
Oh,
town
really?
centres.
Where they've had trouble is some
I
places, not
remember
all.
when I was in the Navy, I traveled to Iceland, and like you could just walk down the street there drinking a glass of beer or a bottle, no problem. And
Mm.
I've been to Copenhagen, been to Barcelona. We didn't go to England though. I really wanted to. We floated by the White Cliffs of Dover, so that's
Yeah,
like the only
over. That's not a
that's
very
the
nice place.
closest
You
I've
haven't missed
been.
anything.
Have you ever been
Yeah.
to Ireland?
Yes.
Yeah, many
Yeah.
years ago now. Funny enough, to watch Robbie Williams.
My dad's family come from Ireland, and
She
yes,
keeps shaking her glass under the
magic
camera.
glasses.
She keeps doing that under the camera. It's like, okay.
My dad's family come from Ireland, and I've been to Dublin, but Ireland's somewhere I'd love to explore more.
Yeah, is it really green like they say?
Yeah.
Not in
Yes.
Dublin, it's expensive.
I'll tell you what, Ireland is wonderful, but the climate there is very rainy, and that's why it's so green.
Oh, yeah.
And Dublin's very expensive now, isn't it?
Dublin, I'm not sure about the whole of Ireland, but Dublin is massively expensive. They've got the euro, and
Yeah.
it's
One of the most expensive
really,
places in
really, yeah, really expensive.
Yeah, I always wanted to do a like a beer drinking tour across Europe, especially like all the English speaking countries, you know. My girlfriend Christine, I don't know if you've seen her in some of the reviews, like her ethnic background is like Scottish, and her last name, I'm not going to say it on camera, but her last name, like if you heard it, you think it was Chinese, but it's actually Scottish.
Yeah.
And I want to like go there and like see like if like she got like if her parents and like her grandparents and great grandparents like actually, oh yeah, we just made that up because like on my dad's side of the family, my great grandparents, my dad's side of the family are from Poland, and they changed their name from like a really Polish, you know,
Yeah.
ethnic
People used to do
last
that.
name
Yeah, they did.
to like a more German sounding last name. That's
Yeah.
why that's why it's Chad's with a Z, because my last name is Polenz, Polenz.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just did apostrophe Z to make it sound like possessive, you know. And also that was a nickname I had in like high school, like that's back in the 90s, you know. Like and I just like never got. I always thought Chad's apostrophe Z was kind of cool, and like nobody else uses that. So I've just kept that since, I don't know, going on 30 years now. And I mean, in retrospect, I probably would have just went with apostrophe S or come up with like a more clever name. Like that's why my show's called Chad's Beer Reviews and this podcast is called Chad's Beer Podcast. I just can't think of a more clever name, you know?
It's so funny. I took so much stick for my surname growing up as a child
Mhm.
that when we got married, I actually kept it because I thought I took so much stick for this name. I'm owning it. My surname's Love, Love.
That's a cool name.
It is when you're an adult. Try being a kid with it in school. It's not quite so cool then. Michelle loves blah, blah, blah. And it honestly, it's awful. Children are horrible.
Yeah, children are always going to be horrible, aren't they?
Yeah, with a surname like that.
Especially now, unfortunately. But
I like it now.
It's funny. When I go to the deli here, the lady who cuts the meat, she just like calls everybody love. She's like, "What can I get for you, love?" And like, she's not even like from the UK. She's just American. And like the first time she said it, I was like, "Oh, I didn't know we were dating."
You get that so much because there is a lot of people, or used to be. It's not so much now. But so what's your name, love? Well, my name's Love. Michelle Love. It can get a bit awkward at times. Yeah.
Well, at least it's not Bird.
Yeah, I suppose that could be worse.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
There's always something worse.
There's always worse names. But
yeah.
That's just kids. Kids are always bad.
Well, it's funny. The whole point of this podcast is kind of like talk about beer, but I mean, we always go way off topic. It's just nice to just chit chat with people and get to know them, you know. But kind of bringing it back to beer. So how would you like describe yourself like as a beer like expert or lack thereof? Like, are you like BJCP or Cicerone certified, or do you homebrew? Like, how much? Like, what's your beer knowledge that you would say?
I drink a lot of it.
Yeah, we drink a lot
of it.
But no, we have homebrew, funny enough, and once actually quite successful. We've got the pinters again to mess about with, but we haven't quite got on with that. And that's for expert, no way.
I did look into tasting courses because I did find that my palate's quite good at picking up different flavours and things, and we did look into doing a course.
She's absolutely brilliant with the beer. When we did do you know the brewery Hertog Jan in Holland?
Right.
She was actually picking out everything over all the locals,
and they were like, "Who is this girl? Who is this girl?" And it was just the flavours. I seem to be able to separate them a little bit on my tongue and pick them out. It's not something I'm trained to do. I just really enjoy beer.
No, but you do have a clue with it. I mean, remember a lot of the beers, which was why I originally didn't want to do YouTube. I'm not really that interested in them. Well, I've grown a lot of interest and a lot more due to YouTube. But
yeah,
if you think about 2 or 3 years ago, before YouTube, I'd have just drank Weizen beer for the rest of my life. And not even cared.
Experimental. He wouldn't even try other things. If it was out of his comfort zone, and just no, I'm not drinking. Done that. No, not trying it.
Yeah, I saw you just did the hazy IPA today. So are you getting into IPAs now, or have you always liked them?
Yeah, no,
I love them. I really like the bold flavors.
The grapefruit flavour with it, but
you're building on them.
It's the machines as well, because of the machines. Like when we had Elvis Juice and Brewdog, when it was high volume and Vacation Life and Death, because they were sat there in the machine, and I'm thinking, well, if she drinks them all, she's going to be hammered. It's like I'm going to have to drink some of this as well.
You need to share them.
And then I thought, hold on a minute, I kind of like this. Yeah. It's the hoppiness used to get me a lot on the IPAs. You know, when it's too hoppy at the end and that, and I just think, oh, that's just weird. But then as time goes on, go on, sorry.
You might have a sensitivity to bitterness. There's actual like tests you can take. There's these test strips. You can get them on Amazon actually. It's just like a little piece of paper. You put them on your tongue, and like it just if you have that sensitivity, it's like this piece of paper that tastes like super bitter. But if you don't, it just tastes like a regular piece of paper in your mouth. My homebrew club.
Worth a try. Yeah, we could do a video for that. See if you're.
I like a pilsner and that.
Yeah, but this is the thing. You like a pilsner because it has a bit of a bite at the end. So
it's the hoppiness on the IPAs I used to struggle with a lot, but I don't tend to struggle so much more.
You know what's funny is like a lot of our sense of taste, like both literal and like metaphysical or whatever, our sense of taste is just based on our genetics. Like some people, cilantro smells and tastes like soap to them. You know what I'm talking about? Like
I do, because sometimes
Yeah.
I actually, and you're quite right there, I can pick up a kind of soapy kind of taste, and I've said to you before,
She does.
I
don't all the
I'm
time, do I?
I'm not liking that. I'm picking up that soapy taste from this. And he's like, I'm
Yeah.
not picking it up at all. And I'm like, yeah, for me, that's got that kind of soapy taste. And the other thing I really am not good with is aniseed. I don't like
They
aniseed.
say I like aniseed.
He loves it. I can't stand
which
it.
is rare. Me
Do
liking
you
something.
like
Yeah.
do you like the Belgian wit beers? Because those are made with coriander seeds.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Hogarth,
like coriander. Yeah.
Hogarth, it's been one of my favourites
Yeah.
for many years, isn't it? I mean, we used to drink that back in the early 2000s.
But speaking of like that aniseed kind of taste, St. Fillions. That's a beer I can barely drink, and you love it.
Yeah, but it's too strong.
It's a very strong one.
How do you guys like sours, like the new sours? Not
Love-
like the Belgian
I-
sours.
I love the sour beers that are really sour. The ones that
Yeah.
make you pucker up your face. Kind of pastry sours
Oh.
and the sweeter kind of smoothie sours. I'm not keen on those.
I don't mind them, like one,
I can't know. I'm
but
not.
they
keen on
become
those.
sickly. You know, like I mean, we've had a lot of them from America, and by the time we get through the 4-7
Yeah,
mil,
they've got a lot of lactose in them as well, which is really quite hard on your stomach.
I've been saving the labels off of some of the cans. I had one last night. It was if you check my Instagram, you can see it. This one's called "We'd Go Together," like, and it's strawberries and peanuts. It's supposed to taste like it's like peanut butter and jelly in
Yeah,
beer form, and like they call it a sour, but it's really not that sour. And,
yeah.
yeah, I don't get it with it with this smoothie sour thing.
yeah,
I
this
get
one's
the-
like a smoothie sour. It's called "You Had Me at Meow."
Yeah, I could say that's good. The artwork looks good, but again, what was it like a thick smoothie?
Yeah,
But-
there's like this new
And
sub-style
it
of
tastes
sours.
lovely.
Yeah,
and
it's like it's
really
almost like
creamy.
it's like a daiquiri more than a beer.
Yeah,
And there's
Yeah.
and there's no literally little or no sourness at the end.
yeah.
And they have I love these new crazy labels. Like this one is huge here. This brewery called Other Half. They're out of Brooklyn. They have
Oh, wow.
this one's called Broccoli. It's a hazy IPA, but the whole label is just broccoli. And another brewery.
That's fine.
This is another broccoli one. In fact, like the breweries they're doing this thing called Freaky Friday where they brew each other's beers. And like this one,
that's a
it's
cool
like
idea.
this is the original broccoli, and like this is like the remake. It's like when a band does a cover of another band song. You know?
Yeah.
I have all these scrap pieces of paper that I use to just like save the labels. I have
That's a
my
good idea. We should do that more, but
I know I think I'm gonna save like tons and tons of them, and then just like if I get enough of them, just like cover the entire wall with beer can labels. You know,
Do
they
you
gotta
know
be
what?
funny or interesting.
Absolutely
I was thinking that from
fantastic
doing
idea.
the Hackney ones.
Yeah,
Rather than keep all the cans, if I just put the label onto a piece of paper,
and use it as a wallpaper.
Yeah.
How amazing would that be? What a cool idea!
I know, like half the beers that are in this fridge I bought just because the label was funny.
I've done it many
Yeah.
times.
There has been occasions we've looked at it and the artwork just draws you in.
Especially with the yellow things. And I've made so many mistakes.
check
and
this
I
one
thought,
out.
"Oh,
This
all
is
the
like
glory."
it's like a cat like sci-fi overlord thing. This
looks
was a
brilliant.
good beer though.
Yeah, that's the problem. But sometimes you build up such a high expectation
By looking
By
at that
looking at the
artwork,
can.
yeah.
that when you have the beer, it's probably all right, but you're kind of like, oh, it's not as good as I thought.
Yeah, my girlfriend and I are cat people, so like anytime there's a beer with a cat on a label, I always get it. Like
Yeah.
this one's
I must
Duke.
admit, we're kind of like that with dogs, aren't we? If we see something with a dog, we're more likely to pick it up.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if you're a fan of The Simpsons or not, but I got this one.
Oh, the Simpsons are brilliant.
This one says Otto's jacket. It's like Otto from The Simpsons, and like it's a really
I
dank,
get it. Yeah.
really dank IPA. And
Oh,
this
Yeah,
one
that
looks
sounds
like a Gradius video game from the 80s.
yeah.
I was going to say,
I was going to say, it
retro,
looks like
like on my screen down there.
Photos.
I mean, I could go through all of these. I'm gonna have like a freaking binder full of them, but I just wanted to show you something. I saw this on Instagram. Would you drink this? It's a Guinness and
We've
Monster.
seen this floating around. Paul
Yeah.
doesn't like Guinness. I'd be willing to give it a go.
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
me-
and there's the other one at the moment as well, which is a Guinness and a Hazy Jane.
Oh yeah,
That's
like
a monster
that's
energy
monster,
drink.
isn't it?
Yeah. There's a lot of
People are
these
doing some
mixes.
mashups with Guinness
Yeah.
at the moment, aren't they?
People are experimenting. I think it's a
I
good
think
thing.
that's cool. Yeah.
Why not give it a try?
What's
We
your-
experimented last night. It didn't work.
What's your take on the non-alcoholic beer craze?
I tried it all. Honestly, I gave it my all for all that, didn't I?
As a quintessential British person, I'd rather have a cup of tea. I don't like non-alcoholic beer.
I
It's
had
just
the
great, but not for me.
there's a non-alcoholic Guinness I had a couple weeks ago, and it tastes
That one is
pretty much-
supposed to be good.
yeah, it
From
tastes
what
pretty much the
everyone said,
same
it's
as
supposed to be good.
there's also a huge craze of hard seltzers too. Has that picked up over there?
Yeah, it's not been well received here. House
No,
seltzers are
yeah.
those like fizzy flavoured.
Yeah, some of them are right, shouldn't they? But
Yeah,
it's an American thing.
yeah, that's not really been well received here.
Not
They're
very
really
good.
easy to make.
Good.
You
We
just
tried
take
to do.
water,
Yeah.
and sugar, and then ferment it, and then just add some kind of syrup flavoring for
Yep.
whatever flavor you want, and you've got hard seltzer.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah,
make it in.
It's just like, but it's a craze, and it's a big craze, especially in the States. Children love them. The ones that I got, because I got a few of them, because they were cheap. You know, when I did the brew export.
Yeah.
As soon as Sean, because he's banging to America, our youngest, as soon as he saw it, he's like, oh, I'll take them.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, they're not very nice. And he's like, oh, they're all right. They
Yeah,
love them.
you know, they're good for like mixing like a cocktail. So like you would just use it like as a mixer, not so much to just drink straight up. Like I mean,
Yeah.
like this is a soft seltzer here. Like this is blackberry lemonade. I drink these all. I try to get off soda. Like I'm not drinking Coke and Pepsi and Sprite anymore. I'm just drinking these sparkling waters because they don't have any sugar or calories in them, and they're clear, so they don't stain your teeth.
Yeah.
I have all these vet bills because one of my cats just had a UTI, and he was like peeing blood all over the house. That's pretty gross.
Of course,
God, mate. You know, it hurts just so much with the pets.
the urinary tract infections are really awful for animals.
Yeah, he's
It really is
on
frightening.
antibiotics for like a few weeks now, so he's pretty
Mhm.
much over it. I got to bring him
Oh,
to the vet
good. I
tomorrow.
can see that.
Yeah, he's
Well,
back to it.
rather than going
Rambunctious.
to our bed tonight, we'll be downstairs with the dog. won't we?
Yeah,
'Cause he's not very well.
We're gonna camp out with the dog
kind of dog?
downstairs because he's old and he's
He's old. I
poorly.
think we're going to have to take him to the vet. His face has all come up.
He's a Rottweiler, which is, as you know, a very
Oh.
big dog breed, and he's 11 years old now, which is old for such a big dog. He's got a swelling on the side of his face, and he's down in the dumps within his personality himself. He's really lackluster. So, but the problem with him is he's a tyrant at the vets. He hates going to the vets.
It attacks the vet.
He's a very placid dog, but as soon as you get him in the vets, he's like a Tasmanian devil. So we try to limit his time in there as much as possible. But he's old and we need to see what's going on with him. So we're going to have to take him and see
Yeah.
what
I
happens.
hate to end the podcast on such a down note, you know?
Oh no, he's a diamond, that dog.
Animals are
Honestly,
animals, and
we love our animals.
he's
Yeah.
been a joy for us, hasn't he? over
Yeah,
the years?
no, hopefully we'll be all right in the way it'll be.
Yeah, he tends to be.
Any chance you guys can send me a can of one of those pineapple Weizenbachs? You're raving about it. Simon's raving about it. I gotta try this thing.
It's
Yeah, there must be. It can't be that. Can't be.
oh,
Are you gonna
oh,
make a
that's
trip to
looking
Florida
into it.
anytime soon?
No, yeah, that's only. Yeah.
If only.
But no, yeah. Funny enough, I got the last lot, didn't I?
Yeah,
I'll have a look and see how much shipping. It shouldn't be that bad.
we'll have to. Yeah,
Where are you
unfortunately,
traveling to next?
since Brexit, things have got hard to ship for us. haven't they?
No, we haven't. This is the first
This is
time.
it.
That's it. We've done the big one, and that was it. Obviously, we did the
Yeah.
cheap Euro ones that everyone in England tried to say we spent a fortune, but it's
No.
not quite like that.
Uh-huh.
It was 39 euros each way on the Eurostar,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, yeah, no, it can't be that hard, can it, to get one over to the States?
We'll look into it and see how.
I'll have a good
difficult
look
is
into it, and
to-
we'll talk on Instagram and that.
Yeah.
see
You
what
have
we can
that
do.
airline, I think it's called TUI, TUI.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all right.
They do. They're quite good for package holidays in Europe. We tend to do our own thing where we get the cheapest flight possible,
We,
and then we go in and find somewhere really cheap to stay. We've had some good ones. We've had some really bad ones as well, though, haven't we?
You can't win them all.
they actually
it's all part of
fly
the fun.
into Sanford. There's an airport here because we're only about 20 or 30 miles north of Orlando, and TUI actually flies into Sanford, so you might be able to get a direct flight. Actually, I think they fly out of Cardiff, which I think that's where Simon is, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
it is. He is very near there.
Yeah. So if you ever want to go to Disney World or anywhere in Florida, check out TUI going into Sanford. Might be
Yeah,
able to get
Simon,
cheap
that's a
tickets.
Cardiff supporter, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
He's a bluebird, as you call him.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see what we can do with that, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have a look into it.
If there's a will,
Okay.
there's a way.
Indeed.
Well, thanks for doing the show. I will put links to all your stuff in the show notes.
Yeah,
And,
and we'll make sure we put our stuff
Yeah.
and share on ours and that.
Yeah.
More so Facebook, but YouTube's always handy anyway, isn't it?
But
Yep.
thank you so much for inviting us.
Yeah,
And
it's been an absolute
it's been
pleasure,
an
mate.
absolute pleasure. Thank you. It's
All
been
right.
great talking to you.
Yep.
All right. Have a
Well,
good
what
night.
can we say? I would say bonjour, but you'll think he's mad.
Yeah, we
No,
understand
thanks,
reference. Thank you, mate.
Just say
Take
later,
care, mate.
dude.
Bye.
Bonjour, mate.
Bye.
And I'll do the leaves, don't I?
Yeah.